What are you doing? Are you trying to stay in shape during quarantine? That's a struggle for a lot of people.
I've given up bread. Well, kind of. I've been trying to eat healthy, and my wife bought me a scale.
Oh,
She loves me.
mm-hmm.
She bought me a scale.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tried the scale, and it's like one of those where it works on your phone and it keeps track of how fat you get.
Uh-huh.
And so I stood on the scale and I looked at the app, and it's in metric because the whole world is in metric, but it was like really small type. And I was with my 16-year-old, and there was this red line, and I was like, does that say finished? And my 16-year-old goes, no, it says obese.
So you got an obese rating.
I'm obese.
Oh, so, well, what I would say is just turn off the phone or delete the app.
That's one way. But obese, that's not necessarily bad, right?
No, it's not necessarily bad. It's not the best. Obese can mean that it's a health risk. You got to take care of yourself, Jim. People are counting on you. Oh God, who's calling you?
It was no one.
Okay, let me just quickly. I'm getting something here. Hello. Yeah.
Conan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, Jim. Talking into the vegetables. It was fun the first time. The second time, third time, it started to wear thin. Now it's a problem.
Not funny at all.
Well, I think if you do it a little more, it's going to start to get really funny. Do you think?
Oh, you know what? This one's out of batteries. You've had that mug since the Late Show, right?
It was called Late Night. I know you're a fan.
Well,
excuse me.
I didn't want to,
1993.
93.
So, yeah. You weren't even born when we started.
I was very young. Oh, here, I got a good story. So, I went to Georgetown University, and so I was doing this fundraiser in Philadelphia, and I arrived at the fundraiser, and there was this woman in her 30s, and she was running the whole production, and she was like, you went to Georgetown. I went to Georgetown. And I was like, oh, wow, there you go. And so then later on, I was talking to her, and she said, what year did you graduate? And I go, I graduated in 88. And she said, oh my gosh, that's the year I was born.
Chilling, right?
It was just brutal. I'm just an old zucchini holder.
I get this a lot. Like a 17-year-old kid will come up to me and go like, oh my God, I can't believe it's you, Conan. It's so amazing. Can I get a selfie? This is back when you could take selfies. And I'd be like, yeah, you seem excited. And he went, well, my grandmother watched you when she was a little girl. That's what I get. My grandmother watched you when she was a little girl just off the boat from Italy in the 1920s. That's what I get.
No, it's brutal. It's brutal.
It's terribly brutal. Have you ever get this? You ever have anyone say that you remind them a little bit of John Malkovich? Because when you were talking about the garden, you started talking about, I like my garden and it's where I like to go. And your lips did a thing and your whole affect became like John Malkovich. Did you realize that?
I see you standing over the grave of another dead president. No,
yes, I love that movie, In the Line of Fire.
Yes. Well, he's from the Midwest and I'm from the Midwest, and I used to have a more nasally voice, but I think it got beaten out of me. No, but yeah.
You're very John Malkovich when you'll say, I mean, I don't do a John Malkovich impression, but you purse your lips in a little bit, and then there's an accent when you say the West, and it's just John Malkovich.
He's so brilliant. But you know what's weird?
He's brilliant. He's brilliant.
He's
the good. Yes, he's the one I wish I was talking to.
Right. Well, you know the amazing. But then again, what about that Apple TV show? He's got to regret that. Anyway, but the weird thing is John Malkovich. He has a little bit of a whine. Like Do you ever sometimes see comments where people are like, "Oh, this guy sounds so feminine"? Like, do I have an effeminate voice? I mean, you have a very effeminate voice, but you already know that. Like, do you ever hear that? Do people like? Do you think you have
No, I never get that I have. People think that I have it's a little bit pitched high tenor, but they think I have a commanding sort of JFK affect where I'm taking us to the next generation.
Yeah,
You have a very,
I'm very.
my
I'm
guard,
non-binary.
my
I have
garden.
a non, but
I
I
have
didn't
a
realize
garden.
I didn't realize I had a feminine voice. I mean, not as effeminate as yours. You know what I mean? But like,
Again, I think we've established that I have a commanding presidential, and I'm talking about 1962
is that a size
commanding,
small
we'll
shirt?
go to the
Is that
moon,
small?
not because it's easy, but because it's hard. You have more of a my garden.
Is that
I think I'll
like,
be in my garden.
like? Do you find like when you carry around a book because you don't have friends? Do you find the book heavy?
It's the Gutenberg Bible.
Yeah.
It's very heavy. It's encased in lead to protect it. So I'm very strong. You know, I'm very strong.
You're
I know what you're
very.
trying.
There's a lot of things I mean, you're way more talented. Like you can play guitar, but we're both very goofy looking people. But we've done so well given what we look like.
I mean, look at us. We've done great. I am in an abandoned theater that no one wants to be in because they're afraid of COVID. And you're at a Sizzler Steakhouse.
It was abandoned.
What's that?
Sizzler. I liked how they whispered Sizzler, like it was a secret.
Sizzler.
Where'd you get poison? Sizzler. I like doing jokes from the 80s.
Where did you throw up? Sizzler.